Let's go. Let's get in here. It's great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out for the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I love a
you
good
bet.
topic.
Yeah, it's great. So let me ask you this. Before we get into your work, I always start with this question. 6 years ago, this pandemic was raging. Everything was changing. How did
Yeah.
you get through that coronavirus era, and how has it influenced the way that you work and live today?
Yeah. I don't think there could be a better question for me because literally that year changed everything in my life forever. And
Yeah,
I know so many people feel that way. But I literally had to write a book about it
yeah.
because I was working for a company in the States and they had me on assignment like abroad. And I was in Mexico and I was supposed to go back April 1st, 2020. And 4 days before I'm supposed to go back to the States, I'm in a like 6,000 person company. I'm helping them go public IPO, all the things for $5 billion or something. And they lay off half the company. So they lay off half the company. I'm in Mexico. I'm going through a divorce. I just lost a friend. My job is imploding. My marriage is collapsing. My dad's dying. And I get laid off abroad. And the border shuts down. The planes stop. All my stuff is in storage in the States. And there's like nothing to go back to, right? This is hazmat time. Like everyone's dying. We're not sure what's happening. They literally
Huh?
put dirt in the road in Mexico, and they're just like, people are walking around with hatchets, and it's like, I think I need to stay put.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sheltered in place in Mexico um, for 4 months. And in that time, my life like completely shifted. I was nearly 40 years old. I'd never lived alone in my entire adult life. I'd always had college roommates, everything else. And through all that loss, um, like so many of us, I finally had a chance to pause and listen.
Yeah.
I finally had a chance to have a conversation with myself. And it's amazing that we can go through like, 4 decades or 5 decades of life and never actually do that. Um, and so I had a chance to do that. My my father passed away. And during that time, I had all the right kind of guides coming my way, the typical like awakening spiritual Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, A New Earth, revisiting alchemists, things like that.
Yeah.
And a month after he passes, I'm alone in the desert and I look up to the heavens and I just ask, I'm like, Dad, if you're out there, show me. And my dad came to me. My dad came to me on the desert of Mexico.
Wow.
Um, I felt his hand across my forehead. He brushed my hair, tucked it behind my ear. And then, next thing you know, I'm out of my body. I am with him. I am light. He is light. And I'm over the veil. I'm where we all come from and I'm where we all go back to. And I'm just like, Dad, is this what we are? And he's like, yes, aren't we so beautiful? He's like, I'm so happy. He's like, I'm home. And in that moment, I'm like, I had so many questions, but the only one that came bubbling very clearly was like, can I stay? I was like, could I? Is there any chance I could just stay?
Do I have to go back?
And the instant I asked that question, I'm back in my body and I could feel it's like surgery with no anesthesia. It wasn't fair. Like I could feel myself come back into this meat suit.
Wow.
And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. And so that's where I wrote the book. It's going to get messy because everything that I have thought life, reality, existence, my whole life, my dad had tried to make me spiritual. And of course, when parents do that, you go the other way.
Yeah.
And he was determined to get through to me. And so in that moment, everything shifted forever. And
Wow.
so I'm sorry, this was a very long answer, but
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it.
the pandemic, that year is like so pivotal in my life. It literally shifted my entire existence of, and perception of reality, of, what we all are and what this existence really is and why we're here and all like everything.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't be more grateful for a year and a moment in my entire existence.
How triumphant. It's interesting. I'll hear people talk about near death experiences, and it's the same thing. It's like everything, it's like maybe the ultimate heroin high. I've never had it, but I've heard like it's
Yeah.
just every sin is washed away. And
Yeah.
you get this like precursor to the biggest mystery of our lives as to what's going to happen after this. And you
Yeah.
have the preview. You watched the preview to the movie, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I got to be in the movie for
You were in the
like,
movie,
I
yes.
was in the movie for like, I got a star role. Like I was an extra,
Uh-huh.
and then, and then it was like, poof, back you go. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah. And
like
that's
that's
what
just not fair.
That's what I hear. You know what's interesting? When I was growing up, my best friend died at 17. I was 16 at the time. It was a big deal. And
Sorry.
he was in it. Yeah, now I look back on it and I think how fortunate to a certain degree I had some level of being cognizant of mortality because
Yeah.
death can break people. There's
Yeah.
levels of that separation that can break people. And I remember he was in and out of the hospital. He'd go in and he'd hook up an IV when we were kids. But when he left, I started having dreams in my 20s and he was in there and it was very vivid. Like we were in the childhood home. I'm like, dude, you're not alive. What are we doing here? And it would happen on a reoccurring basis. And I finally got to the point where I'm like, I'm going to ask him a question. And it wasn't
Yeah.
even a conscious thing where I was going to do it like I was on a game show. It was just a weird, ethereal moment where I said, what does God feel like? And all of a sudden, I was above a lake, a serene lake that wasn't moving. And there was a rope swing that went up, and the ropes didn't attach to anything. And I went over the top of the water, and my big toe
Mm.
barely hit the top of the water, and that was it. I was out. Never seen him since. I worked up and I asked him the question. He told
Ooh.
me what God felt like, and bye bye.
Yes.
I'm
Oh, beautiful.
I'm
What a
I'm
gift.
I'm grateful for it. It's kind of like
Yeah.
what that kind of moment, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
I feel like dreams can be that type of moment though, because I've had there's a slew of other things that happen after that. Deep dives into psychedelics because I was like, I need the juice. I want
yeah,
to get back to where that is.
uh-huh,
I am not going to live in this existence. And I'm like, I'm going to find every way to get back there. And I tried.
yeah,
But dreams, I think, can have that exact same experience. I
yeah,
believe that dreams are other views into other timelines, into other moments. Like I know that your friend is still with you, as you know, and
yeah,
they're just giving, we have these like little 3D meat suit minds that can only capture like 0.3% of what's actually happening around us.
yeah,
Truly, we can't even see it. So
yeah,
he just gave you a glimpse into what is.
yeah.
Like,
The
yeah,
eternal,
it's
that
true.
that that feeling. And you know what, that's why I miss David Lynch so much. David Lynch had that really dreamy way of swimming into the conscious and through the subconscious, and it's like everybody was wondering what it meant, and it didn't matter. It gave you this feeling. And I remember when I used to watch his movies, I would have the best dreams. It would
Mm,
completely transport me to that place. And
yeah.
but that's what we're looking for as humans. We want meaning. What's going to happen? We know this is temporal. But I'm
Right.
I'm noticing now at 53, I'm feeling more and more like all of us are really lucky we've been chosen. That this weird like spark that made us, when the zygote said yes, the
Yeah.
fact that we're all here and we have this opportunity to experience just not only us but the animals and the plethora of what this is. It's so weird and
Yeah.
wondrous, and it's
Yeah.
like maybe that's just age, but I think that we're all lucky.
Yeah. Well, because we're awakening, right? We're at
Yeah,
a specific point in history that goes well beyond anything we can imagine, time, space dimensions, other
uh-huh.
realities, other beings. And so you like my book starts out like this cosmic bus stop and like the choice, like you have the conversation before you go in, right? And so there's no mistake that we're chatting. There's no mistake that you're here at this time. And um yeah, like the existence, the magic of the sunset, the magic of the hand that you hold, the hug, the loved one, the like just the visceral, gorgeous experience that this is, that is the magic. And
Yeah,
to remember that, we're innately whole and complete and connected and, beautiful.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
let's get into what you do on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of 13-year-olds. You're at career day, and the kid in the back of the room is like, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer?
You know what? Right now, I would say I help other people shine. In a nutshell. So, I mean, I guess by like, the 3D earning matrix world, I've written my first book 5 months ago about it's going to get messy, helping other people awaken, helping other people remember their true essence, carve their own unique path. And I do that through writing, and I also do that through like coaching and consulting. So I help other conscious, soulful founders express their essence to like their themselves, their company, their loved ones, just to live that like fulfilled life. And so, yeah. Yeah, and I think it's evolving. It's
Yeah.
evolving because I have been, someone who rested her laurels on like Fortune 500 companies and branding for Calvin Klein, and I still sometimes will throw out public for $5 billion to somehow like validate that I'm a capable, intelligent person, but I'm in this season where I'm trying to shed all of that and just go back into knowing my job is to help other people's stories and their uniqueness shine, and really leaning into that and trusting uh, and seeing how that unfolds.
What did you want to be at that age? When you were a kid, what was your dream job?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And here you are. It's happening.
Yeah, and I forgot. Like I completely forgot. I did interior design, and then I got my MBA at Wisconsin, and then yeah, then I did marketing and branding for like 15 years. So,
And you've gotten to this place of a higher level of consciousness and depth. How did this happen? I mean, a lot of our personality is developed by the age of 3. What do you think the seeds were that were planted into you that gave you this awakening later on in life, that gave you this more refined notion of why we're here on this
yeah.
planet?
Yeah. So I believe we all choose our parents for a reason, good or bad. There's a very conscious pairing that happens far before you enter into this beautiful simulation, this gorgeous dream. And I didn't know the answer to that until my dad passed, until he came to me after death. And um, when I got home, this is maybe like a few months later, and after the experience with my dad, I hear direction, I hear that very sharply and clearly at certain times. And I'm walking, through my mom's house, and I hear like go through it again. And I knew exactly what the voice meant. There's like this Tupperware container with like letters from my dad and like cards. He would write me all the cards. And I'm like, I've already cleared this. And it's like, no, just go through it. And so I sit on the floor and I go through 1,000 cards, and I finally find the one where I could just feel it like burn in my hand. And I open it up, and it's my dad, and he's like, basically, I've written this manifesto for you, and you're going to read it after I've left this world. But it's called Dreamtime 33, and it's on the shelf. It's waiting. And I'm like, this still gets me. So I go into my mom's closet, and there it is, like with a handwritten like label on it that I never knew was there. And I open it up, and my dad has written like Alan Watts level conscious, the most beautiful writings, poems, everything back in the 70s, like early 70s. And so I know for a fact I would never have written this book. Um, I would never have written this book. It was not on my list to do. My dad tried to write for so many years. He struggled to get published. He wrote 3 books all about consciousness, awakening, dream time, um, the liminal space between, present and dreams. And but again, I was in the car, and the voice said, clear as can be, directly in my mind, write the book. And I literally pull over. I'm like, and I knew, I was like, ah!
Yeah.
For 3 years, I sat and I wrote this, and it's dedicated to my dad. But I chose him to continue as my dad, to continue his work. And and I don't know what that looks like. I just know that I'm following it with my full heart. And the book, sharing the story of how it came to me, I'm going through Dreamtime 33 and like, okay, what is there for me that I'm supposed to share here? Um, and so I feel like all that was formed as soon as I came into this world. I mean,
Yeah.
they raised me a Christian Scientist. I didn't even see a doctor until I was 18. Like I was told at 3, you're a perfect spiritual being. If you know your true essence, you won't get sick. And so I never saw doctors. We had to pray. We
Wow.
had to pray if we were sick,
Yeah.
which has a lot of, gray lines of kids that didn't get care that should have. And thank God I was never like seriously injured because
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing. But
Yeah.
the point is, they were molding me and I was choosing them the moment I came here. And so I've spent a lot of time, as we all do, chasing societal scripts of what we should do,
Yeah.
of what is success, what does bring us happiness. And I had the gourmet kitchen and the house and the car and the rental property and I was like, nope, miserable, like
Yeah.
absolutely fully miserable. So now I'm like, all right, screw it.
Yeah.
Let's listen to like what our intuition is and chase it with all of our might and see what happens. And that's really only been in the last year or two that I fully have like, okay,
Yeah.
I surrender. What do you have in store and how can I serve? And
Wow. The other thing that can change our trajectory in life is like those random acts of kindness. What's one of the nicest things that anybody's ever done for you?
oh, it's so true. Kindness, like one act of kindness, like
Uh-huh.
30, like 2 seconds can shift someone's entire existence. Um, I mean, besides my dad coming to me when I came to Mexico, not knowing a single soul, not knowing a single soul, the people that greeted me in the water, that's like, here's my beat up surfboard, take her out. When I had forgotten that my college self-subscribed to Surfer magazine and like desperately wanted to be a surfer, but didn't remember until her 40th birthday that, oh shit, I can still do that.
Yeah.
Like here, take it, go. Or like you
Uh-huh.
come out of the water and here's a fresh Pacifico for you, just like there's such care and community that I find in Mexico where there's no like white picket fences. Everyone's really looking out for everybody else. And so I would just say simple acts like that of just showing like, I want you to have a good experience. Um, I just want to be lifted up. But
Yeah.
the surfboard moment,
Yeah.
his name is Tlaloc. He's a work of art. He's on the wall. Like he is so dinged and battered, but that's the board I rode on my first like overhead wave with the epic shot that I will like a month after my dad died that I will never ever ever forget. Yeah.
So who is your dad, the one that's been your hero, your inspirational force that's allowed you to find your footing right now in life?
Yeah. And the sad part is that I didn't, not that I didn't feel that way growing up or when he was alive. I was a daddy's girl, like all like through and through. Like he wrote me every day in Maine when I'm a camp counselor. Like I didn't know how much he was my hero though until he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I'm like, your love for me, like just transcended time and space.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
do you do with that?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's weird how that stuff will happen in life in general. Like, there's people that are alive, but once they're gone, it's like there's this whole new razzle. They become kind of the saints of our time. It's interesting. I
yeah.
was thinking, my dad passed in '08, and we were pretty close. And I'm an archivist, so I go through stuff, and I'm going through and I'm looking for pictures and all this. And I find 3 old little cassette tapes that are in his side drawer. And I'm like, what is this? And I pop it in, and it's his life story. He recorded it like 4 years before. No one knew about it. And it wouldn't have probably been unearthed unless because I'm just that kind of guy. Like I've been in journalism and I'm always, rooting and looking into things like that and archiving and scanning stuff. Anyway, he did his life story, got spooked about someone that died. So he did his beginnings in Brooklyn all the way up until that point, which is totally wild. So it's weird how
Mm.
those things happen in our lives and how they touch us. It's totally wild.
It's totally wild. But I mean, like, it also shows, though, too. I mean, like, your dad and you being his son and his desire to tell the story and
Yeah.
document and art, like, you have that in you, too, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, that's why you do this show, is
Yeah.
like, you naturally have very easy conversations and you want to have those conversations and tell people's story to help other people on their own journey.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah. It's the ripple effect. It's that
That's the
whole,
ripple
yeah, it's
effect.
the whole ripple effect. So let me ask you this: what is the energy every day for you to do this work? Because when you're helping change lives and helping people get to another place, you have to get immersed in that whole human thing that can get messy. How do
Yeah.
you protect and enrich your soul and do a good job every day?
Yeah. The biggest thing, and I love how simple this is, and I'm sure like everyone says it, is meditation. It
Yeah,
really is. I started in 2020, a couple months before my dad passed, and nothing comes close. So I did, all the psychedelics after my dad died. I'm like, and I had never really dabbled except maybe a little bit in college when you're like, let's get, drunk and have some mushrooms.
yeah,
It was like, okay, let's go ayahuasca, let's go bufo, let's go iboga, let's go combo, let's go 4 grams of mushrooms, let's go. Like I was like, let's hit everything because I
yeah,
was just like, get me back to dad. It wasn't until I write about it almost like a third of my book, The Silent Meditation Retreat. I was able to get to that place, the closest my dad took me to with a 10-day silent meditation retreat. Um, and that's the beautiful thing, right? Like I did the psychedelics and those are great. Those are
yeah.
like wonderful little like think, all right, give you a
Uh-huh.
kick, right? It's
Yeah,
like a little drop kick, like Inception, right? You like kick
uh,
the kick and you're in.
yeah,
But meditation, breath, like I think breath is like spirit in physical form, right? Like it's the thing that we can't survive more than a few seconds without. It's
mhm,
literally the life force. And so when you're able to tap into that, you have everything that you need within your breath and within your very being to get to that spot.
yeah,
And I didn't know that until I practiced for years to do that. And so meditation, and it doesn't, here's the thing, people think meditation has to be perfect. They have to sit down and you're going to be all chillaxed.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no. Half the meditation retreat, I was like screaming at people in my mind, stop coughing, stop moving. Why are you disturbing my rest? And all the things. Um, but just having 20 minutes a day of silence and sitting with yourself and getting centered and breathing in and like that that is the foundation for everything of showing up for your loved ones, of helping other people, of serving other people.
yeah,
And I mean, a very close second to that is nature.
yeah.
Uh, is barefoot on the ground, is sun on your in your eyes in the morning.
Mhm.
It is, enjoying the like cup of coffee or tea as like hang out with, I'm seriously like houseplants, trees,
Yeah,
like just being with animals and nature. Um, those they're, like think about dogs. They're here as
yeah,
little guides to bring us back to our true
uh,
self. So,
yeah,
um, those are probably the two most like non-negotiables.
yeah. So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into the 18-year-old version of you, and you
Hmm.
walk in, and there's a film projector, and you click play, and there's a 60-second highlight reel of the life you've lived. Would that young
Mm,
version of you believe that your life turned out this way?
no.
Would you have any advice?
Oh, I think it's the advice we would all give our 18-year-old self, which is stop doubting yourself. You are
Uh-huh.
worthy.
Yeah, yeah,
Like and it's because we live in this societal script where we're programmed with media all day long about lack. We're like your house isn't big enough, your earnings aren't big enough, your wardrobe isn't good enough, you don't look good enough, you're not beautiful the way you are, you've got to alter all this stuff about you. Like the programming is nonstop not
yep,
enoughness, and that's with intent. So it's for all of us to remember, as we all are now, it's like, no, we're perfect and whole and worthy.
yep,
And think of how much all we would do from the age of 18 until you get to 40 or 50 and you're like, tick tock. Like
uh-huh,
time's the only teacher where we're like, okay,
yep,
I got 50 summers left.
uh-huh,
Okay, maybe it's time to go.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
So, of everything that you've done, everything that you've overcome and evolved to, what are you the proudest of, happiest about?
Oof. Ah, I was gonna say completing the book because I've never done anything so hard in my whole life. Like it took 3 years of um yeah, discipline and reflection that I didn't even know I had within me. But I think it would be the byproduct of that, which is just finally coming home to myself of feeling deeply like the woman who arrived in Baja couldn't go out to dinner on her own.
Yeah,
I I was terrified. I accepted bad relationships. I just there was no grounding in myself. And yeah, I would just say finally having that conscious awareness is like the most beautiful gift, because then you can finally enjoy all the things that have been around you the whole time that you've been like somehow, like pushing your way past because there's something out there. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculously simple.
Huh? It sure is. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, clients, everyone that gets your book, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Perception of me, like how I would describe myself,
Well,
or
like everyone has this perception. You have roles in everybody's lives. They see you in
yeah,
a certain way, but ultimately we're the driving force behind
yeah,
the id, ego, superego. So
yeah.
ultimately, what is your interpretation of what you're putting out in the world?
Yeah, I would say many decades ago, what I put out and who I was never in alignment, but I would say perception equals reality, and that's why I feel so comfortable in my own skin. So, um, I mean, the book is, I mean, raw doesn't quite put it out there. It's like a conversation with your best friend. I was terrified for anyone to read it. Like my best friends asked to read it, and I said no. And they're like, "You do realize you're going to have to publish it?" And I'm like, details. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I know. And then there's absolutely zero fear in it now, because the only thing that I asked of it was to have a resonance of truth. Like there can be no, like so many memoirs get Hollywood effect, right? Where they twist it and turn it. I was like, no, it has to be resonant true. And it took me 10 edits to get to that point. But I'm raw, I'm vulnerable, I'm funny, and I just want to help other people on their own messy path. And I think I think I exude that, and I think everyone feels that. And um, yeah, it's a very good place to be.
Yeah.
It feels nice. Hasn't
So
always been that way.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it. So
Yeah.
if anyone wants a discovery call, they want to pick up the book, they want to reach out, any of the good business in your world, where do they go?
BeccaEveYoung.com.
Okay, that's easy. I will put
Yeah.
that in the show notes. What a wonderful, illuminating conversation. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time. Best of luck on everything. I appreciate it.
Same to you, Joe. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.